Last year, in a Black Lives Matter march in Kingston, Laura and I were one car in a long car caravan. We were stalled on a residential block feeding into Broadway when a black woman came out of her house and started screaming at us. "What are you people doing? My children are trying to sleep. They can't sleep with all this racket. You wouldn't do this in your neighborhoods." We know what the problem is. You people, you need to go back and figure this out for yourselves. The name of our class is Who? Us? And our answer is yes, us.
James Baldwin said that the story of the Negro in America is the story of America. I'm just beginning to understand the holes in the history that I learned, and more importantly, the justifications for what was left out. No one I know perpetrated injustice, but I think that white people, well-meaning white people, need to stop perpetuating it through just toothless inaction and good intentions. I'm determined to see the limitations in my own history so that I can access a richer understanding of my community. You know, at our ages, I think that we can all risk a second look and maybe an active leap.
I'm not a racist. When I ask my friends, do they think they're racist? We all say, no, I'm not a racist. But then I sit back and I reflect and I think about things that I say without even thinking about it. Like when I sat around with my adult children while we were in quarantine and somebody did something and I said, "Are you out of your cotton picking mind?" And I stopped and I reflected, where did that come from? Why would I be the person that would say that? In light of everything that was going on this summer and all the killings, it really made me think that I have to look inside myself and see where comments like that come from. And I need to ask my friends, do you say those things? Do you think those things and think that you're not a racist? And what can we all do to improve ourselves so that we truly are anti-racist?
For years, I've read about racial injustice, feeling helpless about how I, as a white woman, might create change. It seemed too large for me to make a difference on my own. In the Who Us class last fall, we immersed ourselves in real history. I can't count the number of times I said, "Why didn't I know that? Why didn't I understand that government policies were actually structured within the ideals of white supremacy?" Now, with the power I feel in this group, I'm ready to catalyze change, one person at a time.
I thought I understood racism. I have advanced degrees in African American and African history, have a Tanzanian daughter and grandson, have lived in Africa and worked in the civil rights movement in the South. But the litany of racial cruelties in 2020 brought me up short. Police killings, beatings of Black Lives Matter protesters, cages for children along our border, and the death by cold neglect of Black and brown frontline COVID workers. I realized I didn't know my country anymore, or maybe I didn't want to recognize what it has become, what it has always been. My salvation has been LLI's Who Us course, which offered a way to look more deeply at racism in our country and within myself. We collectively began to chart how to respond, beginning with putting together a proposal for a diversity, equity, and inclusion initiative for Bard LLI.
Last June, Black Lives Matter protested in Pleasant Valley. It was intended to be a peaceful protest, but white supremacists showed up, taunted them, and engaged in violence. The harmony of the Hudson Valley was forever shattered. This is no news to Bard College, whose students and professors of color had long been taunted while jogging on River Road, water bottles thrown at them, vicious epithets hurled at them. So when LLI offered this course on racial bias in the fall, myself and a number of others signed up for Who Us by Laura Brown and Barbara Danish to teach us about our own implicit bias and how we can educate ourselves and change ourselves to be of positive value to form a more perfect union. As a noted philosopher once said, "Not to speak is to speak." Not to act is to act. We invite LLI at this point in time to both speak and to act. Please join us on our journey.